Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends on where you are. And then today, we are about to take you back on a reflex back to some few years ago. To me, just like yesterday, because what happens as at that time is still very fresh in the mind of most of us, although some people must have or might have forgotten, but I haven't, and so are so many others. So, especially those who happen to know the victims of this barbaric act that was carried out by the Nigerian system. Because somehow, as it always happens to be in a country like Nigeria, when things happen, nobody seems to claim responsibility, especially when it's a negative, side of history. So, but we all know who the leader is at present. So, I know this whole thing has been happening ever before then, anyway. So, but what really happened in 2020, October 20th, which was the day of the massacre at the Lekki toll gate, cannot easily be forgotten by people like us and those who care, and especially those who are victims, who know the victims, or who are related to the victims, or who are friends of the victims, or those who belong to the same corporate societies with the victims, or those who are co-tenants, or community leaders, or community dwellers, or co-tenants, and what have you, with these victims, people they know, maybe even people that they know right from birth, whose life will just snatch away from them without, you know, without any recourse to anything, simply because they were asking for a good government, simply because they asked for the system to work for them instead of them working for the system and without them seeing anything from it. So let me refresh your mind again because we are going to take this thing maybe from part one to maybe even part 10 from now to the election to start with. Maybe after then also. We just have to refresh your mind because why? It's very important because the kind of government you have will determine the kind of quality of life that you might have. So you see the importance of everything. We are talking about human rights and this and that. It all depends on the kind of government and the people you elected or the people that force themselves, you know, over you or lord themselves over you to rule over you because they see you as a subject. Because the kind of police that you have in Nigeria today are those kind of colonial police. Because the Nigerian police were trained like colonial police who were trained mainly to suppress and subject the people. That is to anyone who is trying to ask for freedom or anything to suppress, just like the apartheid system of yesterday. So that is how the Nigerian police still operates now in 2023. So, but this one happened in 2020. So let me take you back.
Here in Lagos, youths have continued their agitations for reforms in the Nigeria Police Force, a 10th day. And the heart of Lagos, some of the protesters gathered at the House of Assembly Drive at Alausa, which has been their converging point since the agitations began. They came fully prepared with water and various food items to be shared among them, with a waste disposal truck parked to evacuate refuse generated from the scene. At some points, they took a break and also observed Jumat prayers. the pictures from this evening, the candlelight vigil held for those who have lost their lives beg your pardon, to the special anti-robbery squad activities in the country. This is the Lekki tollgate area on the Lekki-Epe Expressway, where the action continues with protesters intensifying their agitation. Our correspondent Olu Phillips is standing by with an update on the situation there. As I said, our correspondent Olu Phillips is on the ground there right now for the candlelight. Right, so Olu Phillips is there at the venue of the candlelight ceremony holding for those who've lost their lives to Sars activities. Olu, what can you tell us so far about what's been going on this evening?
It's difficult here in the studio, but I will try my best to say what I can say if I heard you very correctly. Take, for instance, what is going on here tonight at the Lekki Toll Plaza. Just when you think you've seen enough, look at the massive, huge sea of heads here at the Lekki Toll Plaza, protesting, chanting, singing, and making their voices count. From the artists to the clergy who have made prayers here, up to the comedians who have inspiring all of the crowd members here. And the big question to ask is, again, how did all of this get galvanized? How did all of this get triggered? And at what point are we going to be able to persuade this teeming number of people who have come from all walk of life to back down on what they want? Government have made their appeals as regards, give us time to be able to take the processes on as per all of your demands, and the demands that require some processes. That doesn't seem to be triggering the right chord or striking the right chord on the hearts of the people.
So you see, the Nigeria journalists, they be so caged to the extent that they can hardly say the things the way it is, or or rather than standing on the side of the people, they always choose now to stand on the fence, because they want to secure their jobs, or because they are scared, to be or being harassed by the same system, which is Nigerian police or some top politicians, etc. So I don't blame them for that, because if I were to be in that situation, maybe I'll be doing the same thing. Because first I have to think about my own safety and my own livelihood, and the livelihood of of my children and my wife and families, and dependents. So for that I don't blame them, because if you really see to what these guys see, just beating around the bush like, okay, they do this or they did that, and it's like you cannot see any end sight. But that one is it's okay. But what I'm here to say is that what happened that day is because we have somebody like Buhari in power. That is why, and that was why this thing was able to happen. And when this whole thing happened, you remember the blame game started. They started blaming Sanwo-Olu, the Lagos State governor. So, from my own opinion, that was when I knew that the state governors now have power to call for deployment of troops into their own states, and also at the same time act as commander-in-chief, which means they can order the so-called army brigade or whatever, to do whatever they think they can, or give them order, like a commanding officer, in the war front. Because when that happened, you remember the man that was responsible for this thing was one brigadier. What's his name again? One brigadier. I remember his name, you know. So whatever it is, one brigadier from the this army barracks in what do you call it, Balande area there. But he's a northerner. That is the you know the worst thing about it is that this man is a northerner, and he was not even the highest in command as at that time. The man that was supposed to be the highest in command was a southerner as at that time. The man from I think from Cross River State. So that man said they should not shoot, but all of a sudden, this man went there and commanded the troops to open fire and start shooting on innocent demonstrators. That was how this whole thing happened. And up to now, that man is still in the army as we speak. I will check out the name again. The name just escaped me just few minutes ago now. You know, so but because I have a very short time here, that's why I will not have time to be. And this is live. So but whatever it is, this man was the man who ordered the shootings. And up to now, later everyone was blaming everyone else. They blame Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State. That one blamed somebody else. Then the other one blamed somebody else. And everything just died down, just like that. But those who have lost their loved ones, their husbands, their boyfriends, their brothers, and their community leaders, sports and whatever, representatives, community leaders, etc., they lost them forever. Just like that. And nobody's being held accountable. And their bodies were taken away. The worst thing of all, their bodies that is the evidence taken away. So you can see that the same mentality, that colonial mentality, is still what they are operating on. But very barbaric. And sometimes I ask myself, are these Sars not in the north? How come they are only killing people in the south? So let's leave that for another day. So I'll keep this thing very brief. So tomorrow we start, from the NSAS part 2. So, but the reason for posting this, doing this very posting, is that the people should open their eyes, think well before you cast your vote this time around. Not to a tyrant, not a barbaric, not a corrupt imbecile, or whoever it is that they call itself because it's wearing agbada and stuff like that. So judge the people by what you think they represent for you and for your children and for your future and for the future generations yet unborn. Thank you. Stay blessed. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you.